but it's not conclusive. Based on a study of the early Greek transcriptions, theophoric names, and the reported pronunciation of the name in the Samaritan tradition. Now notice it says Samaritan tradition. That was the tradition of what they pronounced it as. He's saying that this is the probable vocalization. He suggested it. It's not etched in stone. Remember what we read about the wisdom of this world. It says, as a result, 19th and 20th centuries biblical scholars began to use the form Yahweh, and it became the conventional usage in biblical scholarship. So basically that's something that Esau came up with. So because they said it, then it's supposed to be law? Come on, man. It's just the same way as the German cartographer Martin Waldseemüller. He suggested that North America be called America, and it caught on because they wanted something to add there. They wanted to cover all bases. They didn't want to leave that massive land in the north empty. So they said, you know what? He just said, well, this is America. It was a suggestion, and then it just from there it took off. Same thing with this name Yahweh. That's not the Most High's name. Now we're going to jump down here to Tetragrammaton. It's also in the Wikipedia. It says here, the term Tetragrammaton, from Greek tetragrammaton, meaning a word having 4 letters. Tetra is 4. Grammaton is where you get the word or letter, really letter. So it's 4 letters. Refers to the Hebrew name of the Most High of Israel, Yahweh. Used in the Hebrew Bible, and you see here some variations of the name. In the ancient Hebrew and in the Assyrian script, or as they call it, Aramaic. Here, and when you go down and scroll down to pronunciation, it says the correct pronunciation is not known. The spelling of the name has historically been a matter of some disagreement, and the consensus view at various points in history has not been consistent. So basically, they don't agree on certain things on this stuff here. These are just theories, and then they say, well, because if this guy said this, then this is what the pronunciation of the term is. All right. Now, with that being said, gonna go here. This is from this as you can see here, this website here. It says, today, is the pronunciation Yahweh widely accepted? Now there's 2 main sources that these so-called scholars and these so-called people that pronounce the name of the Most High Yahweh go back to, and the 2 main sources is Clement and Theodoret, which is two Jakes that lived, one in the 3rd century, I believe it was, and the other one in the 5th century, AD, if I'm not mistaken on the dates. But this is what it says about this guy Clement. Well, it says, those who believe that Yahweh is the correct vocalization of the name usually quote Clement and Theodoret. The testimony of Clement of Alexandria appeared very late, around 200 CE. Furthermore, as he explained that the Most High's name, and you got some letters here, may be translated into the one who is and who will be, it appears that, there goes the letters again, is more a theological pronunciation than philological. Alright, so it's just something that they came up with. Right? It says Clement, this is the name that he uses, cannot represent an original. Clements, this name here cannot represent the original God's name for the following reason. In spite of his claim about God's name, Clement did not believe that the Most High had a proper name. For him, this name here was only a word, not a name, which means the one who is and who will be. It says another example of the same confusion comes from the Irenaeus of Lyons, which is another person that lived around the same time period, who believed that this word here, Iao in Greek, in Latin meant Lord in primitive Hebrew against heresy, blah blah blah, and he esteemed that the use of this Hebrew word to denote the name of the unknown Father was intended to impress gullible minds in worship of mysteries. And that's all they did, man. They just threw some stuff together. It sounded good, and people just gobbled it up because people are looking for some type of closure. They don't like the fact that certain things are mysteries to them. So when somebody comes up and so-called reveals a mystery, then they just want to accept it. It says, a remark from the book of Theodoret, now this is the other guy, is very often quoted to support the pronunciation Yahweh. That's what they keep saying. Because of the following sentence. The name of God is pronounced, got them letters there. This remark is true, but Theodorus specified that he spoke about Samaritans, and he added the Jews pronounced his name Aya, or whatever, however you pronounce that. Right? Now, remember what it said about the Samaritans, that the pronunciation that the Samaritans have is basically based on tradition. It says the Greek, which comes from the old Hebrew Yahu, and the Samaritan, whatever that is, which comes from the Aramaic Yah, are not the pronunciations of the only name, which is the Tetragrammaton here, which is Yahweh. The name Aya probably represents a transcription of Ahaya form, which Ahaya is I am. It says, even if the name Yahweh is widely used, its bases are very uncertain, and that is why most of scholars prefer the form YHWH, the Tetragrammaton, at the present time. These are two main trends among scholars. The first ones are those who think that the form YHWH is equivalent to its etymology. He is, and they obtain the form Yahweh, Yahweh, etc. The second one are those who try to read this name only on the philology. For example, the French erudite Antoine Favre de Olivet used